Have you ever wondered what really happens to our bodies after we die? And why some people choose to be embalmed? Maybe you've been to a funeral where the person looked incredibly lifelike, almost as if they were just asleep. Or maybe you've heard stories of bodies being preserved for days or even weeks before burial. That's embalming in action. But the real question is embalming actually necessary? Do we need it for hygiene? For tradition? Or is it just something we do because we always have? In this video, we're going to explore what embalming is, where it came from, how it works, and whether or not it's truly needed today. Let's crack open the casket of curiosity and find out right here on History of Simple Things. Let's start with the basics. Embalming is the process of preserving a dead body to slow down decomposition. It typically involves draining the blood and replacing it with chemical solutions, usually formaldehyde-based, to disinfect the body and maintain its appearance. There are actually two kinds of embalming. Arterial embalming, which involves injecting preservatives into the arteries, and cavity embalming, where internal organs are treated more directly. The goal is to temporarily preserve the body, especially for viewings or open casket funerals. It's not the same as mummification, which was a permanent preservation method used in ancient Egypt. Embalming today is more about giving families time to grieve, say goodbye, and hold ceremonies without feeling rushed by nature's clock. While embalming has ancient roots, its widespread use in the West really took off during the American Civil War. Bodies of soldiers who died far from home had to be preserved long enough to be shipped back for burial. That's when modern embalming techniques using chemicals began to develop. After the war, embalming gained popularity through funeral homes. It became a symbol of a proper burial. Families started to expect their loved ones to look peaceful and preserved in an open casket. Over time, embalming became almost automatic in certain parts of the world, especially in North America. But globally, practices vary a lot. In many cultures, embalming isn't common at all. Some communities bury the dead within 24 hours, others rely on refrigeration, and some religious groups specifically prohibit embalming altogether. So, is embalming necessary? The short answer is, not usually. From a public health perspective, embalming is not essential. Contrary to what many people think, dead bodies, especially those who died from natural causes, are not inherently dangerous. The risk of disease spreading from a deceased body is minimal, especially if the body is handled within a few days and kept cool. Refrigeration or dry ice can also preserve a body long enough for burial or cremation. These are often used in green or natural burials, where families choose to avoid chemical processes. Even for open casket funerals, embalming isn't strictly required. Some funeral homes offer natural body preparation techniques that achieve a similar result without the chemical aspect. Religion and culture play a huge role in decisions around embalming. For instance, in Judaism and Islam, embalming is typically discouraged or outright forbidden, with a strong emphasis on burying the body as soon as possible, usually within 24 hours. In contrast, Christian funerals, especially in North America, are more likely to include embalming and open casket viewings, though this is changing with time. Hindu funerals often involve cremation, which makes embalming unnecessary. And in many Buddhist practices, the body is left undisturbed and unpreserved for several days as part of spiritual tradition. So the idea that embalming is standard is really a matter of geography and culture, not necessity. Another thing that's worth considering is the environmental impact of embalming. The chemicals used, especially formaldehyde, can be toxic. After burial, those chemicals can eventually seep into the ground, depending on the type of casket and burial vault used. In the U.S. alone, funeral homes use hundreds of thousands of gallons of embalming fluid every year. That's a lot of chemicals going into the earth, all for a process that, again, isn't required. Because of this, interest in green burials is growing. These avoid embalming and use biodegradable caskets, often skipping vaults altogether. The idea is to let the body return to the earth naturally, without leaving a lasting chemical footprint. There's also the cost to think about. Embalming isn't cheap. In many cases, it adds hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars to the total funeral bill. When combined with the cost of the casket, plot, service, and other fees, a traditional funeral can easily become a major financial burden. For families looking for simpler, more affordable options, skipping embalming can be one way to reduce costs without sacrificing dignity or respect. More and more people are now questioning the one-size-fits-all approach to funerals and looking for arrangements that reflect their values, budget, and beliefs. If embalming isn't required, what are the alternatives? One of the possible options is refrigeration or dry ice. It can keep a body cool and delay decomposition for several days. Another option is direct cremation, which means skipping embalming and going straight to cremation, often followed by memorial service later. Then, green burials can be an alternative too. This process focuses on minimal intervention and environmental sustainability. Some families even choose home funerals, where the body is kept at home for a day or two while loved ones gather. The point is, you have options. Embalming is just one of many paths, and in many cases, it may not be necessary at all. Death is never easy to talk about, but it's something we all have to face, both for ourselves and for those we love. And part of that process involves making choices. Embalming might offer comfort to some families, but for others, it may feel unnecessary or even out of sync with their values. At the end of the day, the most important thing is honoring the life of the person who passed and supporting the people left behind. Whether that involves embalming or not is a deeply personal decision. And now that you know more about it, you can make that decision with clarity and confidence. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.